What a major news story to bring you today. Trump has a traitor, a major breach. How did they get in and what did they just do to Trump? That is the story we're going to be discussing as the centerpiece of today's broadcast. I'd be remiss not to say, for those of you, however, who stayed up with us last night, what a disappointment of a fight. Man, I guess part of me was hoping Tyson would win, but at the end of the day, I think we probably saw the result that unfortunately we expected. The age disparity huge, but the fight just, man, it wasn't good. Lost sleep over that too. But nonetheless, we got bigger stuff to discuss today, don't we? A differing cabinet between what we had under Biden. The cabinet that was to reflect America, but absolutely did not represent America. In my humble opinion, destroyed this nation. I know it's many of yours also. But the representation now will change from what it was, well, to what it is. Still not filled out, however. But you didn't think the Democrats were going to stand down now, did you? I know none of you expected that. Absolutely not. And of course, they're not disappointing now. Who's going to be speaking for this cabinet? Who's going to be speaking for Trump? We finally found out Carolyn Leavitt's going to be speaking. The same one here, silenced by CNN.
So it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome.
And there they go, cutting her off. And don't think for a minute she's going to forget about that. What's going to happen now if she cuts them off? I wonder. Of course, they'll cry unfairness, amongst many other things, the claims they've continued to make falsely against Trump and his administration, which will be the focus of our broadcast today, because there's a lot to report, and I hope the rumors are not right, that this man is not being considered for any position within the Trump administration. Director of FBI. Are we kidding? Let's not forget.
I don't believe today, as I'm sitting here, that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee in 2024. Don't believe it.
I don't think it's helpful for the President of the United States to attack the media. It's petty, and it's certainly below the stature of the office of the President of the United States. It's beneath the office in and of itself. Actions and activities unbecoming of the office of the President of the United States.
Enough. I can't even hear it. I can't even believe he's being considered. Please don't make this mistake. We don't want any more insiders. We're going to have enough of an attack to contend with. Even discussions now from the Democrats of trying to form a shadow government. Seriously. I didn't believe it either. I thought this was some made-up tape. They have an opposite official for every cabinet appointee. I didn't believe it until I heard it for myself.
And there's one more idea. A shadow government, similar to the UK, a group of lawmakers that mirrors the cabinet and publicly challenges them. Say Senator-elect Adam Schiff as Shadow Attorney General, Congressman Gregory Meeks, Secretary of State, or Colorado Senator Michael Bennet as Treasury Secretary. Well, that idea isn't just coming from a strategist, but a lawmaker. And joining me now, the man behind this idea, Congressman Wiley Nickel, a Democrat from North Carolina.
First of all, this is something we can do. This is something that definitely can happen. And they've been doing it for over 100 years in the UK.
That's great. We should follow the UK strategy. Can't make it up. This is what was said, but just the tip of the iceberg of today's report, because there's so much swirling in the background right now. I know it's difficult to keep up with, but we work day and night to keep you up with it. RFK Jr. on your screen. We knew the attacks were inbound. It seems to be a common thread in the attacks now. I hope you caught it by now. What alarms health experts most about RFK Jr. is what he leaves out of his policy. A little bit older of an article, about a month ago. Because he has such terrible ideas, such as, according to CNN. Instead, Kennedy has advocated for regulating chemicals in food. Okay. Including an idea to swap tallow fat in for seed oils. to make McDonald's French fries healthier and limiting access to soda and processed food through school lunches and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Maybe see anything wrong about that? What do you believe he's trying to address? Because the current health administration has done such a wonderful job. Obesity is at a crisis point. Study predicts that 260 million in the U.S. will be overweight or obese by 2050. I guess we're supposed to look by those statistics. Don't take care of it. Nothing's changed in our food. Absolutely not. Of course, we're in the exact same condition we've always been. We're not. Scientists fear for public health if RFK Jr. is allowed to go wild. This on U.S. News. I think he needs to go wild. These are chronic diseases. There's one that went down. We're not in good shape, folks. Without a radical change, we'll continue up these trend lines. Why do you think RFK Jr. is going to try to stop it? Don't listen to the headlines, such as on the Daily Beast, Dead Brain, Brainworm, and Affairs. The complete guide to RFK Jr. scandals and conspiracies. There's no conspiracy. He's going to change things. As HHS Secretary, he wants to go, as the title on the Washington Post states, from vaccines to raw milk. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wants to revisit all federal vaccine recommendations, fluoride out of public water, and boost access to raw milk. Those are shocking conspiratorial ideas. But the attack is on. The attack against every significant Trump cabinet appointee. All right, my friends, it's that time. I'm going to make it fast today, though. I need you to make sure you're subscribed to Lisa. If you think you are, double check. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, she'll put a link just above. Love you to click on it. If you want to support us for all our efforts here, here's where I need you to go. RestrictedRepublic.com, the platform that Lisa and I created for you. She asked for this specifically one day. I remember the conversation well, except we didn't want to ask anybody for money, so we had to save up, scrap up, and figure what we could do to get it launched. No sponsors, no advertisers, no commercials, no interruptions, because that's the way we wanted it. Man, I'm telling you, that was weeks on top of months of work, but so many thousands have joined now because they appreciate good news. You see, I told you yesterday she covered a portion of this story because we keep our audience ahead of all the news, and we want you to be a member of that family. If you can join today, I can't tell you how much it means to us. Go ahead and use discount code Independence, $4 a month for 2 years, 14 days for free. Cancel anytime via your dashboard, because that's how confident we are that you'll go nowhere else for the news that you've been looking for, and that is RestrictedRepublic.com today. You get there, enjoy your holidays watching the catalog, and trust me, those won't be long enough to get through all the exclusive content only at RestrictedRepublic.com. I love y'all. Let's get back to this video. I love you all. Let's get back to this video. Tulsi Gabbard has not escaped this. Full-fledged attack on her. Well, you put me on the terrorist watch list, I guarantee you I'm going to have an axe to grind also. Tulsi Gabbard's ties to secretive cult may explain her perplexing political journey when she originally made the announcement she was leaving the Democrats. Fast forward to today. Tulsi Gabbard's nomination is a national security risk. The Senate could stop her. She's not a national security risk. She's a risk to the establishment. And the establishment is now speaking out.
Well, Nicole, I think you and Tom Nichols have done a great job just underscoring all the concerns that people have about this appointment. Clearly, Tulsi Gabbard has taken actions and made statements over the past several years that really raise serious questions about her common sense, her judgment, as well as her political sympathies. Cozying up to Putin as well as to meeting with Bashar Assad, I think really does show that she doesn't have the type of perspective that is needed for some.
No, she has the exact type of perspective that is needed. Mr. Brennan tries to sound so intellectual, doesn't he? The man who should not speak on any national intelligence interest whatsoever. You all know where I stand on John Brennan. That's not going to change. Trump's pick for top intel job has been accused of traitors parroting of Russian propaganda. Well, who stated that? None other than, I know, your favorite and mine. Facetious, of course. John Bolton.
I don't think either she or Matt Gaetz ought to have a confirmation hearing until they have both had full field FBI investigations.
Why do you
I think the Chinese would say,
hold on, FBI investigations
maybe
into
they
Gabbard?
are serious. I think so, given the Russian propaganda that she has espoused over the past period of time. I think she's a serious threat to our national security. I think.
Wow, they are all parroting the same lines now, aren't they? You know why? Because they're all scared. What happens when she looks into us? We better start to absolutely demolish their reputations as quick as humanly possible. But now, unfortunately, somebody on the inside is making it far easier. Someone inside Trump's circle. Someone has breached the inner sanctum of Donald J. Trump. How did they get in? What did they get out? And what harm have they done to Donald J. Trump? One more story before we get to the details of that. Matt Gaetz here. Oh, I know. The firebrand himself. DOJ decided not to charge Gaetz in sex trafficking probe. Don't forget that. Then why, oh why, would Speaker Johnson suddenly press the Ethics Committee to not release the report on Gaetz when it already has been released? Because ABC News started to give us the details of what was in that report. No, this isn't an all-out attack, now is it? Woman testified to House Ethics Committee that Gaetz had sex with her when she was 17, sources state. Sources state. That term is getting extremely nerve-wracking because sources have declared something about another Trump cabinet official that should never have gotten out, because it was a conversation in the inner sanctum between Donald J. Trump and one of his picks. But back to Gaetz. According to Greenberg's plea deal, the woman who ABC News is not identifying met Greenberg online in 2017 and began meeting him in hotels and houses in the Middle District of Florida, where he introduced the minor to other adult men who engaged in commercial sexual acts with the minor in the Middle District of Florida, court documents state. At the time, the minor represented that she was an adult on the website where she met Greenberg, and according to the plea agreement, he acknowledges that he acted in reckless disregard for the fact that the minor was less than 18 years old when engaged in commercials. Oh, it looks like everything's coming out, huh? Witness said she saw Gaetz have sex with the minor. Everything just came out. So, Speaker Johnson, what exactly are you going to hold back? Because it's already out. Because the attack is on. And we're going to bring you every twist and turn so we can frame everything. This case has already been dropped by the Department of Justice nonetheless. Does that maybe tell you there was nothing within it because they would have loved nothing more than to bury Gaetz? But they didn't. But Pete Hegseth is the one who takes center focus today. Pete Hegseth, Trump's defense secretary pick Pete Hegseth, said to face previous sexual misconduct allegations. Now, how did this get out? Vanity Fair putting this article out. City of Monterey, November 14th of 2024 for immediate release. 2017 police investigation involving Peter Hegseth. There's the lurid details of everything. Nobody's saying it's true or if it's not true, just that there was accusations made. But that's not the issue. The issue is this. Donald Trump's transition team scrambled Thursday after Trump's incoming chief of staff, Susan Wiles, was presented with an allegation that former Fox and Friends co-host Pete Hegseth, Trump's nominee for defense secretary, had engaged in sexual misconduct. According to two sources, Wiles was briefed Wednesday night about an allegation that Hegseth had acted inappropriately with a woman. One of the sources said the alleged incident, if I could speak today, took place in Monterey, California in 2017. According to the transition source, wow, chock full of source, huh? The allegation is serious enough that Wiles and Trump's lawyers spoke to Hegseth about it on Thursday, except they didn't tell you that. No, Wiles didn't come out and tell you that. Trump didn't come out and tell you that. This happened inside the inner sanctum, maybe Mar-a-Lago. We're not exactly sure where it occurred. But all we know is this wasn't publicly reported until Vanity Fair did, which means Trump has a big issue. an insider has infiltrated the inner sanctum of Donald Trump's team. That could have major repercussions on Trump and his cabinet picks. So what does he do now? Does he lock down? Does he start interviewing? Does he find out who this source is? I would. Every single person till I found it. Because this information is to be vetted out first before ever reported to the public. From Matt Gaetz to Tulsi Gabbard, and now to Pete Hegseth. Trump's got a major issue. He has a traitor in his midst, and there'll be many more traitors that he'll have to contend with, but we have to remain vigilant because this information, until it's vetted, isn't true. But they will attempt to paint each and every one of these individuals as the most despicable human beings that have ever walked the face of the earth. And so many who listen to mainstream media will fall for it hook, line, and sinker. Not here. We'll continue to expose exactly how this information is coming out. If this information is actually vetted, or if it's simply the campaign by the Democrats and those still loyal to them to destroy Donald J. Trump. Why would anyone think for a minute it was going to end? It won't. It will only get worse. The period of quiet and shock and awe is done. Now their attack begins, and we'll continue to cover it for you. Now it's time to jump out on the bike, go take a nice ride, because here in Arizona it's just a beautiful day. But making it even greater is the fact that you're listening in here. We can't thank you enough for that. We love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.